And I would like to just say that I think that we should have a supermarket downtown that is affordable for people. I think that City Market provides a great service, and I am in there a lot. I am a member there. I buy organic food, and I appreciate that that's there and available to me and that I can do that. I also know that it's expensive, and it's definitely something that as the economy is going down, we have to sort of consider how do we spend our money. And I think people really need an option that is good food at the most reasonable prices that they can be. And I know that that's an issue for people with City Market, and I know that some of that is because space downtown is very limited, and so it's expensive just to have a business downtown, and that's part of why City Market's more expensive than some of the places in outlying areas. But I really would look to make sure that we have affordable food for people that's accessible to them if they don't have a car.
I believe the city subsidizes City Market. I'm a member of City Market, and I get a discount every time I shop there because I'm a senior, and I get a rebate at the end of the year because I'm a member. But still, I notice that some things are more expensive there, and so I still go to Price Chopper in Hannaford sometimes. I would, as a resident of Burlington, I would like to see the city provide more incentives for them to reduce their price. Perhaps the city could reduce their taxes or give them a break on the building. Do you think something like that could be done?
Yeah, I don't know all of the infrastructure now in terms of the way the taxes are worked at City Market, that kind of thing, but I would look into that, and I think it is a place that the city can really have an effect on people's lives every day in terms of making sure that their food is affordable. So yes, I would look into those options.
City Market is a great resource for us. It's within easy walking distance from my apartment, and almost anywhere in the city you can walk to City Market, whereas the other stores require a car or a bus, and they're much harder to get to. I
think people do try to get to them because they have, I think, sometimes more affordable food, and I think that's sometimes what people really need. And when you're on a limited budget, I know this because I have been in that situation for most of my growing up. I was part of a very working class family, and I still identify very much with that, and I'm not really any different now. And so I feel like it is really important to think about those costs, and I think we do have a great resource there, so let's make it available to everyone in the city.
I like the idea that you grew up in a working class family. President Obama, too. I read his book, The Audacity of Hope, and growing up, he wasn't wealthy either, and by growing up in an environment where we need money, I think we understand the problems of ordinary people. Whereas people like George Bush that are born with a silver spoon in their mouth, I rather doubt that they can understand normal people who don't have those advantages. We're both progressives, and I think that's the advantage of the Progressive Party, that we represent people that normal people. We don't represent the rich like the Republicans and many Democrats do.
Right. I mean, I think many of us understand what people need because we are the people. And I know what it's like to need to have your school be walking distance, and that's part of why I fought so hard to keep Barnes open, because I know what it's like not to have a car, or a car that you can rely on, and to have kids that you need to get to school, and to want to be able to participate in your kids' programs. And if you don't have a car to get to that program at a school that's not really easy to get to, either by city bus or by walking, then you're going to be shut out of that school, and that's not an acceptable answer to me.
Marrisa, do you see the internet as an important part of the infrastructure required for development? What can be done to increase internet access in Burlington?
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. I think we probably will not have good development if we don't have that kind of an infrastructure available to people. Bandwidth is very important for almost every single business today, and so I think it is important. And I think we've got Burlington Telecom doing such wonderful work. I'm really proud of that. I'm really proud that we have city-owned internet access that is so good. And so I have done what I can as a school board member to make sure that they could roll out to the various parts of the city. We have allowed space at one of the schools in the New North End, space at Barnes, and space at Taft for the rollout of Burlington Telecom. So just sort of in the process, I have been there and seen how they're doing some of that work. So yes, I support a strong internet infrastructure. Also, on that line, there is a digital divide here in Burlington, and there are lots of people who do not have a computer, who do not have internet access. Some of it's by choice, some of it's a generation gap, some of it's because people don't have the money for it, and I think we need to be aware of that. And so in city government, we can do our best to get the website up to date, and we can do our best to keep the people updated by email, but I'm learning more and more that we must also have avenues for getting that information out that is in print form and that gets to people's doors, either in the mail or by hand delivery, or is available in some way to them that doesn't include needing internet access. So I think we have to think about both. We're not in a place where we can only concentrate on one. We have to have both still.
Burlington Telecom offers broadband internet service at a price more favorable than people can get from almost any other provider. But parts of the center city are not yet accessible to Burlington Telecom.
Right.
Do you think that the City Council can do something to to expand Burlington Telecom into the center city so that everyone can have access to it?
I believe that is something that is part of the plan, and I think that it has to do with the way they have to put the wires in and that kind of thing. So it's like a technical reason that it hasn't happened, not because people don't want to make it happen. That's my understanding of the situation. But yes, I will definitely be there to say, okay, well, what can we do to make this happen in a more in a more timely fashion, because obviously that's where we have focused our development, and we need to get people online down there.